The reason the score is up is because I want is because I want to plead with any fans of FF13 that happen upon this video. Please don't watch this video. I'm sorry, but I hated this game. Okay? That's the first thing I want to say right off the bat, because I'm like, no. I hate this game, not for any singular reason, but man, was this game worse than I thought. I thought for sure I was going to have, I was going to be sitting here and like, well, I don't like this game, but I mean, I see its benefits. The coffee situation. But then the negatives just kept piling on. And it was like, oh my god. Character motivation's not making any goddamn sense. It's irritations out the wazoo. It got to the point where. Well, let me put it to you this way. I didn't beat this game. The final boss against. The final battle against Orphan. The first round against Orphan, I should say. So, penultimate, if you want to get technical on me, is bad. And that's actually part of the problem with this game in a nutshell, gameplay wise. Its encounter design is garbage. Not only does it do the on-field thing badly, because and in the worst possible way, because you are constantly going down hallways, because this game doesn't know what level design is but it's littered with enemies. Oh, and enemies that are big and that have enough encounter boxes, we'll call them, that you can't get past them unless you like wait a moment and for them to turn to the side so that you can slip past them. Excuse me. Never mind the fact that there are certain enemies that will beeline for you. Oh, and they're faster than your run speed. Again, on-field enemies are not better than random encounters. It's all dependent on how you design it. And what's funny is Square themselves have found a way to making random encounters bearable. Oh, hey, here's a slider. Up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Depending on your mood and how many encounters you want to go. Oh, I'm just trying to move on with the story. Encounters to 0. All right, I'm wanting to level. Encounters to full. The biggest problem I have with this game, by far, though, is this game breaks its own fucking rules all over the place. And the fact that you feel, at least to me, I felt piss-ass weak throughout the entire game. FF10 did make me feel weak for the most part. Fun fact, in FF10, my first time playing FF10, I got reasonably far. I wasn't really avoiding encounters. I was at about, 2,800 health, HP or so, with all of my characters. One of the Sin fights, I don't even remember which one, hit me with an AoE and everybody got hit for 3,000. Instant game over. Now, granted, that might have just been bad luck on my part, but I literally, to get as far as I did, had to spend 12 hours, 12 to 20 hours grinding. Think about that for a second. At least 12, upwards of 20 hours that I spent grinding. That's awful. And mandatory, by the way, because I couldn't get past specific points because of cheap bullcrap. Which meant I had to grind, which gave me the points to acquire abilities, which would then allow me to progress. Because this game is riddled with design that is, do it this one specific way, or fuck you. Never mind the fact that that design is all over the place, especially considering most of the I shouldn't say most, but like bosses tend to have this thing where, oh, you spent more than 20 minutes on this fight. Doom on your party leader. Oh, by the way, if your party leader goes down, oh, gets to 0 HP, instant game over. Which makes no sense. Because getting to 0 HP is supposed to be down, not dead. Now, admittedly, it doesn't make as much sense in the Persona games where I tend to let it slide. But at the same time, I let it slide there because I'm more okay with it there. Mostly because that's the whole idea. It's supposed to be you, right? You know, maybe you're more susceptible to death if you get knocked down, right? The reason I hate this so much is because it's unfair. It's bullcrap. The game is fucking cheating. And I'm sick of that. I hate that. If the game has to cheat to be hard, then it's a badly designed game. Period. And Orphan was one of the worst cases of that. 1 in 3 chance of instantly ending your game. In one of its forms. Because fuck you. It's actually why I didn't beat it, because of that frickin' constant instant kill crap. And the lower his health, the higher he has a chance of using that, by the way. Just as an aside. I hate it. I hate it so much. The game's counter design is garbage. I do like the paradigm system where you can shift roles, and I even gave several of the roles positives. I guess I can go ahead and consult my notes here because I know I get. Yeah, here they are. I gave Commando, I gave Ravager, I gave Sentinel, I gave Saboteur, and I gave Synergist all gameplay positives, as well as the paradigm system itself. And I stand behind every one of those, by the way. It's a good system. The problem is, it's badly implemented, and that is the biggest problem. So many of the encounters are awful, in my opinion, and it just really just reeks of bad design, and I hate it. So, let's see. I talked about the hallways. I talked about the encounter design. Anything else? Alright, you know what? Let's touch back on the hallways thing. So, everybody says that this is the most linear Final Fantasy ever. I disagree, as that dishonor, honestly, in my opinion, belongs to 10. As I feel like 10 is way too fucking linear. Like, you are literally going down a corridor the entire game. But the problem is so many of the maps, if you actually take a look at how the maps are drawn on when you go into the map, they're just lines. They don't really branch. They don't really go anywhere. Now, some people will say, well, what? But when you get to Pulse, then it opens up immensely. Yeah. 30 fucking hours in. I don't even remember how long my thing was. Actually, I have my Xbox on. Can I check that? I guess I don't get to have it. That sucks. I thought I could look up my save data, but I apparently can't. That kind of sucks, actually. Oh well. My point is though, I spent, it was like half the time or whatever. Because I'm pretty sure it was like something stupid. Like, actually, no, I think it was like 3/8. It took 3/8 of my playtime just to frickin' get to Pulse. And again, that's mostly because of the grinding I had to stop and do. It would help if this game was actually entertaining for that time with the story, but it's not. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, it really does piss me off. It just drives me up a wall thinking about how much I hate this game. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about that yet. But that's okay. So, I mentioned this briefly on the stream, but if you think this is just, oh, this is my sensibilities, evolving or whatever. No, I've thought this way since this game came out, because I played this game when it came out. And what happened was, what ended up happening was, I pre-ordered it, I got it home, and I basically became anti-pre-order. And I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, pre-ordering, no, I will never do that. No, I mean in the sense that I would look at you as if you were fucked in the head if you pre-ordered something. That's how anti-pre-order I was. Now, if that sounds like a fucked mental state, keep in mind that that was still what I consider to be the teen Alex time frame. That was on the tail end of it. So, again, his opinion, early, younger me was an asshole. We ignore his opinions, right? But yeah, no, this game was so bad, and I came back to it, and I was like, you know what? Let's give it another chance. And I hated it. With apologies to my buddy Eddie Beach. I hate this game. I really do. Its narrative is so dumb. And if you don't read the dialogues, you won't know what's fully going on. Which is funny because the characters actually get that wrong, and that's actually why you need to read the data logs to understand what the hell is going on, because the characters are getting it wrong. Like, come on, even right up until the final bit. Like, come on. Ugh. The tutorials are skippable, but they're kind of crap. I already mentioned the leader dying equals game over, which is dumb. What else we got? Oh yeah, the raspberry jam thing. I mean, raspberry jam. In this case, it's the screen flashing red if you're low on health, or one of your party members is low on health, which is just crap. Oh, and it gets worse the closer you are to death. The more damage your party has taken, which is awful. The paradigm system is good. The intro is so goddamn boring on a gameplay basis. It's just absolutely asinine. It takes it takes 2 chapters for battles to actually mean anything before you can start getting crystallarium points and actually improving your characters. That's awful. There's only 13 chapters in here, by the way. A sixth of your time is spent, and 9 not having any encounters matter at all. Oh, and those first 2 chapters are rife with encounters. What? Speaking of leveling, there's barriers. In other words, you have to wait for the crystallarium to expand before you can continue on after a certain point. This is so dumb, because it can actually bite you in the ass. Because it makes you think that grinding is pointless until the crystallarium really opens up, and then it's required that you max out your crystallarium to progress. Yeah, pretty ass backwards. Again, like I said, usually because you need a specific ability to progress on, especially with the Eidolon battles, which we'll talk about in a bit later. I've already bitched about the encounter design. Yeah. So, I mentioned that this game has overinflated numbers, right? This is evident on everything. The final boss, for example, has a combined total of about 12 million health. 8 million health. Okay? 8 to 9 million health. Somewhere around there. Or 10. No, I think it's actually around 10 million. Excuse me. I don't remember what the second forms of Orphan's thing is. But yeah, no, it's, so 10 million, and there are enemies that will have upwards of like 100, and actually, I think one of the enemies literally has like 1 or 2 million HP for a trash mob. A trash mob. Like a trash encounter. Having 2 million HP. What? Why? You know? It just boggles my mind. Alright. Let's talk about the Eidolon fights now. All but one of them got negatives. And the reason is very simple. They're kind of badly designed. I know I keep saying that, but the way these battles work is they have a specific thing they want you to do. So you do it, and that fills up their Gestalt gauge, which once you get it up all the way, hit, X in my case, or square here if you're on the PS3, and bam. They transform into their vehicle mode. Why are the summons transformers in this game? So they go into their vehicle mode, and then you've tamed the summon. The first one you do is Snow's. Snow gets the Shiva sisters, Styria and Nyx. They combine, they morph together to turn into a motorcycle that Snow rides on. Insert the he wishes that was Sarah. Here are jokes. Insert all the he wishes that was Sarah and not the Shiva sisters jokes here. They're all good. So yeah, those get really irritating. Auto battle is decent, admittedly. I did like the bit where you pilot the pulse mech. That was kind of cool. There's my note about the Odin boss fight, which was crap. I do like using the Eidolons in combat, like when you've actually tamed them and then you start using them. That is cool. There's my positive for the commando roll. The pacing is boring. And it's awful on both axes. The difficulty curve is... God, there's too many difficulty spikes in this game. So yeah, that's why I gave a triple negative for the difficulty curve. The power progression curve, like I said, you feel weak through way too much of the game. Aster Protoflorin. Oh god, that thing was fucking irritating because it kept fucking me around. So annoying. I did it, but it was a pain in the ass. Enki and Elil, those beasts that Zaz and Vanille have to deal with, that's pretty cool. The town Palamporum was boring to go through, mostly because of the random encounters and everything. This is where I started giving negatives to specific trash mobs, which were trash enemies, which were just irritating. I did like fighting the Ushamgal Subjugator. That was kind of cool. The Havoc Sky Tank was actually kind of a neat battle. Didn't much care for the Midnight Reaper that Zaz and Vanille have to deal with. I already mentioned the grind. Oh, I did give a Brune positive to another uh, Eidolon fight. It was Brunhilde. Okay, cool. Mm. That's another thing I like. So, let's say you do grind as, say, Zaz and Vanille because Brunhilde is just kicking your ass because you need a specific thing. Any points you gain with them, transfer over to the next group. So you can actually sit there and level the next characters up, and you don't have to have them in battle. That's a nice touch, and one thing that this game has over 10. Then there's everything else. The Palamecia was boring. The core combat, I've already talked about how... okay. Here's why I don't like the core combat. It's inconsistent of whether or not enemies can interrupt your actions, or you can interrupt theirs. It's inconsistent and it's a pain. I mean, if it was for like timing and that, I'd be okay with that. But the problem is that most enemy actions can interrupt your actions, but there's very little you can do to interrupt the enemy's actions, and that's awful, in my opinion. I also really don't like the battle camera. The enemy variety and enemy placement is all screwed up. Oh yeah, that the thing I was mentioning earlier about the non-flinching thing, that's the flow of combat. Bartendalus is an awful boss fight in almost every time you face him. That boss fight is cool though. The Sid boss fight was cool. This game has a nasty habit of really wanting you to stagger enemies. I call it the stagger fetish. There's my note about the overinflated numbers. Bahamut was the other Eidolon. I gave a gameplay +2. Your paradigm, your paradigms get reset at certain points in the story, or when you reconfigure your party. Why? Why is that a thing? Like, it's so dumb because you'll have like 6 of them, and then it'll erase them, and you'll have like 2 or 3. It's so annoying. I hated the Eidolon battle with Alexander. That was dumb. The ally AI, because their inconsistency. There's my note about the flinching. I do like that you can use retry to respawn the enemies and continue to grind. That was a nice touch. It saved me some time. I do like the status effects do not reload. Hecaton Shear here, Vanille's Eidolon. The battle against that one was dumb. The weapon effects. Okay, so weapons will have specific status effects, right? Well, or not status effects, sorry, the wrong word. Different abilities. They're garbage. Most of them are detrimental. Reduce how much HP, max HP you have. Or make it so you can never stagger enemies. And there's like almost nothing else. I mean, yeah, there's improved guard, there's improved cure, there's improved raise, there's quick stagger. There are some good ones, but the game just litters shotguns useless weapons at you, and it's just like, why would I ever want this? Now somebody's going to point out, oh well, because it morphs into this. Yeah, I didn't find the stuff I needed to upgrade my equipment, so which is probably part of the reason why this didn't work for me. But again, it's if the party leader goes down, it's game over, and that's the problem. You just remove that one thing, and I would have beaten this game. No joke. I would have beaten this game if it just swapped to another party member for the leader status. Thankfully, that's a lesson they learned in 13.2. There's my notes about the roles. There's an enemy called Vitalia, and it's a barrier. It's basically a break my barrier boss, and it's dumb. And then it becomes a trash mob. The side quests lack variety. The audio spam is not the worst I've ever seen, but man, is it bad. Bartandalus is an irritant. That was also where I think that was the first time I ever encountered the Doom thing, by the way. I knew it was there. It was just, that was the first time I encountered it. Not a fan of the monster designs. You can't collect treasure chests. That's when enemies are chasing you. A PS1 game made by people who had that had been their first JRPG got this right. Why are you getting this wrong, 13? I am referring to Ledger of Dragoon, by the way. Because in Helena Prison, you can actually collect a chest. The guard can walk up to you, and then he'll say some random thing, like either bastard or admit it. Admittedly, admit it makes no sense, but whatever. Practically no fast travel because it's locked by side quests. That's annoying. I did not like the Erebus Seath Stone scene, but that's beside the point. Actually, that's story, sorry. Lightning's Army of One, which is a Ravager ability, weirdly enough, is actually kind of cool. Thanks to the final boss, this game got a triple negative for status effect fetish. That's fun. I don't like fighting behemoths in here. The Proudclad was actually kind of a cool boss fight. Although the second round with it can go to hell. There's also a bit of a menu delay in the menus when you're trying to navigate them. Like it'll take a split second for the next menu to pop up and for you to be able to maneuver through that. You know, especially with the Crystallarium. The trash mobs known as Orobons were aggravating as shit. There's my note about shop prices being too high. The trash mob's Dagonite, the trash enemy Dagonite is kind of annoying. I liked fighting the Jabberwocky and Bandersnatch boss fight in Orphan's Cradle, which is one of the worst final dungeons I've ever played. 2 negatives I gave it for that. Do not much care for that assassin dude, Waladislas, or however the fuck you're supposed to say that. Like the Seath with the sword. Final round against Bartandalus is awful. Orphan's first round is garbage. I hate the boss time limit thing. Orphan round 2, even though I didn't get to it, I gave it a plus because everything I read actually looks like that's a fun DPS race. Oh, and there's also the death exploit, so there's actually an option for finishing the game nice and quickly. Good. Although the outro itself can go to hell, even though there's some good gameplay story integration. Also, I really don't like the music in this game. I'm sorry. The music is not good. I find it to be atonal. There's a few good songs in here, but I like them more in 13 too. And that's the problem. Alright. Time for the obligatory or a major spoiler alert. I mean, I've been spoiling things all over the place, but let's just give the obligatory warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in full spoiler mode. Okay. So, I do like some of these characters, but some of them get irritating. Fang got irritating with all of her angst, because it's funny, everybody claims Lightning's the emo one, when Fang actually does more emo shit, in my opinion, than she does. Huh. Funny that. But yeah, for the most part, I actually kind of like these characters outside of Hope, because I find Hope to be whiny, irritating, as a character arc is just based on him being a fucking coward. And I'm so hate that. Like, fuck, wouldn't you rage overwrite that? Nope, gotta be wishy-washy, even though you're apparently royally fucking pissed to the point of insanity. Last I checked, insanity does not turn you into a chicken shit. Unless it's the super scared. This is supposed to be the super anger version of insanity. What the fuck? The banter was good. Sarah was kind of cool. Focus. So the fallacy curse you when you become a Lassie, and they give you a focus, which they reveal to you through visions instead of just telling you. That is so dumb. I hate it. Intro, like I said, has a big problem. I do like when you reload that it gives you a brief recap of what's recently been going on in the story. That's a nice touch. There's my note about random angst, the first of many. I'm just trying to blaze through this because I really don't want to spend too much time with this. This is just to sum up the stream, really. I did like the flashbacks. That was kind of cool. I didn't like Hope's desire for revenge. Ugh. Roche. He's the Psycom leader dude who comes after you in a few scenes. He was such a waste of a character. It was pathetic. Same with Nabat, honestly, but I gave her a wash because it was just like she was in 2 scenes and then she was gone. What? She had no impact on the story. She was literally a nothing character. So then when we get to Palimporum, Hope's feelings finally come out, and we learn, oh hey, Snow actually feels guilty for all the people he lost. Gee, almost as if he's a human being and not the monster you claimed he was, Hope. Asshole. I know that's his character arc, but it's still fucking irritating. Deliberately irritating is still irritating. See also Titus from FF10. Oh, and angst is also not an excuse. We're on in a semi-related sidebar. Being angsty does not excuse being a complete fucking asshole, Waka. Boom! Happy Festival Fireworks! Yeah, when we review FF10, that scene is getting a triple negative. That line is gonna get a triple negative. Never mind. That scene might actually get more than 3, just because I will give the line 3 negatives, and the scene itself, like, 1, maybe. We'll see. Sorry, I just... Anyways. Rants for later. Or rants for some time in the future. Rants for some time in the future. I will admit the scene where he returns home and his dad is like, "This is your home. You are my son," was actually was good. That whole sequence was actually really well done, and I liked it. I gave it 2 pluses because that was actually really good. I do like that that the reason for Vanille's guilt coming out, which is good. Too bad the dialogue is awful. Bartandalus. Then we reveal that Bartandalus is a fal'Cie, or that Daisley is the fal'Cie Bartandalus, to be more accurate. Oh. So this is where one particular reviewer, who will go nameless because obviously, basically ended one of the parts of his review. Intending for that to be the end, I imagine. Because, well, his entire point was made just by Bartandalus opening his mouth in fal'Cie. Like, just Daisley being a fal'Cie instantaneously made his point. You know? Never mind the fact that he literally tells the party their focus. Not helped by the awful dialogue. So then Sid attacks the party after we're casted down to the l'Cie training area. And he basically reveals that he's a l'Cie. And that whole scene is bad. Especially considering they learned the wrong lesson, because the whole point is that to turn to Crystal, you have to defy your focus. Which is actually why Vanille and Fang turn to Crystal at the end. But the party doesn't know that, and by extension the audience doesn't know that unless they read the fucking data log. Which is awful. It was a cool boss fight, though. So then Fang starts getting angsty, and it starts to piss me off. It'll piss me off some more anyway. The revelation scene after the... by the way, that's when Bahamut shows up. So then when Vanille's thing goes up and Fang has her revelation, that's dumb. I will admit I like the Vanille flashback with Sarah. That was nice. But then again, I've mentioned that I would like those. Lightning and Snow have a scene on Pulse. And that's where it's like, don't give up. Don't you dare give up on her. We're going to see her again. Together. That was nice. I liked that. Showed Lightning was worthy of her plus. I also like the optional scene with Vanille and Hope. That's nice. So then Bartandalus disguises himself as Sarah to try and manipulate them. I love how both Snow and Lightning see through it pretty quickly. I think Snow actually sees through the disguise faster than Lightning does. Because Bartandalus actually dead names Lightning. Now, the concept of dead naming is usually meant in the terms of someone who is transgender, switching to, a different gender and therefore changing their name. But I think it applies in a similar vein. I'm not trying to say Lightning is trans. I don't see any evidence of that, okay? I'm also not trans, so I'm not allowed to code Lightning as that. Despite what a lot of porn tries to do. Anyways. Point is, there is no evidence to suggest that Lightning is trans. That's the point. But she did change her name, therefore the dead name concept still applies. Bartandalus calls her Claire, which is her birth name. That's not her name anymore. And that's the point. She is not Claire Farron anymore. She is Lightning Farron. And whether or not she ever calls herself Claire again is a matter of debate. Because again, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be that she legally changed her name, too. That was the whole point. I changed my name. And usually, when you say you changed your name, you mean that you did so in a legal sense, right? But I digress. So then they return to Cocoon and act like villains, which is dumb. Sid, who's out of his crystal state, then gets shot in the head by Rigdia, who I haven't even mentioned yet because he has literally got nothing. Then apparently Lightning has repaired the gravity thing she used all the way back in Chapter 1. No dialogue indicating that, by the way, which is dumb. I did like when we defeated Roche and he had his final moment. That was kind of cool. But then we go into Orphan's Cradle and we have irritating scene after irritating scene, including a pointless "Where's the end of this?" Which is just bull crap. So then Bartandalus fights us again, even though the whole point is supposed to be he dies and an orphan shows up. Nani the fuck, Bartandalus. So then Orphan is an irritating boss fight, and then Fang submits to Orphan. The fal'Cie have been lying the entire game, and you're just gonna take Orphan at their word. His word, their word. I'll stick with their. Because, two voices, a male and a female voice. Admittedly, the one that's usually zoomed in when Orphan is talking is the male side, but I don't know. So dumb. So then everybody's proven to be alive because, Idiot Ball has to be shoved up Fang's ass for no reason. And we beat Orphan, and then in the ending, Fang and Vanille turned Crystal to hold up Cocoon. Miracle happens, the brands are gone. Sarah and Dodge come in happy ending. Snow is like, you're gonna let me marry Sarah, right? And even Lightning's like, yeah, okay, we've been through way too much fucking bullshit for me to be a bitch now. Make her happy. I'll let you do that, Snow. And Snow is like, yeah, I'll make her happy. I promise. I hate this game. I really do. But that is my thoughts. I hate this. Way too much melodrama, way too much bullcrap, too much confusing shit of them throwing terms at you left, right, and center. It's just frustrating. Ugh. But we're not done. Because for those that don't know me, Rantview is different from the Learner's Lamentations because it has a changes section, which now we are going to get to. So I can actually remove these because I don't need them anymore. I don't have a lot of notes on the changes section, and they're all pretty straightforward. On the gameplay side, we have shrinking the numbers. Seriously, shrink the fucking numbers. We don't need bosses to have millions upon millions upon millions of HP. Hundreds of thousands work fine. In my opinion, if you're going to have any of the bosses have over 1 million HP, it should be Orphan. And none of the trash mobs should ever be that high. Because they're trash mobs. They're meant to be quick They're meant to be quick exp gains. Okay? Also, get rid of the leveling barriers while we're at it. Because that was just dumb. Smooth out the dialogue and weave the exposition in. So that way we don't have to read the fucking data log to figure out what the hell's going on. Because seriously. Make the party less dumb, make the villains less dumb. Let's have some clearer goals as to what the hell we're trying to do. And also let's get people helping the party out and have that actually mean something. There you go. That's my changes. It's all very simple stuff, which is funny because you think, wait, you didn't even change any of the details, really? Well, no, because you don't really need to change the details. You just have to change the presentation of it. And maybe make Fang less as about dipshit at the end, but that's beside the point. Because a lot of this is actually good stuff, rife with potential. The problem is that too much of this relies on characters being morons, dipshits, and assholes. It's wrong, in my opinion. FF13 is crap, in my opinion. I never liked it. I don't like it. And I just wish, and I hope to never play this game again. I have spent close to an hour ranting about this game because I hate it so much. I hope you have at least tolerated my thoughts. I'm gonna go relax before I have to go to work. I just wanted to get this out of there now because I wanted to record this one on the same damn day just to get it out of the fucking way while my roommate is at work. So until next time, Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. And to anyone who likes FF13 who has stuck around this long, I'm sorry.